Good morning and welcome to the Legit Real Estate Podcast. I am TJ Chofi. I'm here with Holly Regoli. Holly, how are you this morning?
I am good. How are you?
Should we tell the people the truth and tell them that this is really the afternoon, even though I just said good morning?
It's 12:37. I was thinking every time you say good morning, I'm like, I don't know when it's gonna be by the time I get around to posting this. So it could be
Right?
any time of day. So maybe we should switch off and stop saying good morning, but say hello and
Uh,
welcome and how's everybody
maybe.
doing?
I guess we could. I guess we could do that.
See, a
But
lot of
just,
times we
just say good
start
morning.
in the morning and then we mass record like 3 or 4 episodes and then I eventually get them out. So whenever you get them, it's most likely not morning.
You know what's funny is I wonder if people notice that like during a like 3 or 4 episodes in a row, same hat, same hoodie. And then like the next four, it'll be different hat, different hoodie. But that's just
Mhm.
because we're doing like 2 or 3 or 4 in a day.
Sometimes I try to switch up my hairdo and my hoodie or my shirt and then put my hair up or whatever, but more often than not, it's whatever. This'll
You
be
have
the
that
3rd episode I look
flexibility,
exactly the same.
right?
Yeah. So let's see,
I want to
we
hear
are
some
the
stories. Yeah, what do you got? What kind of stories are bouncing around the internet?
so I started looking up, I wanted to throw in, a little bit more of a variety rather than just TJ and I talking about stuff, so I thought I'd look up some funny things, and, I found something on notalwaysright.com, there's some real estate stories, so I'm gonna read through some of them.
All right.
Alright, so this one's is titled, "When Specificity" how do you say that word? Specificity.
Specificity.
Yes, I can't say it, I guess, apparently, is a hot property. The caller says, "I wanted to look at some properties in blank neighborhood. How much are they selling for?" Me, "Were you looking for a house or apartment? How many bedrooms?" The caller says, "I just want to know if blank neighborhood properties are what properties in blank neighborhood are going for, high or low." Me, "Well, it's a pretty big area. If I knew the type of property you were looking for, I'd be able to." The caller says, "Well, I don't need to go through all these questions. I'm just looking for a ballpark on how much this blank neighborhood property would go for." So I says, well, they have an abandoned dementia hospital with 23 bedrooms going for about $10 million."
Well done.
The caller says, "What? I don't want an abandoned hospital, and I don't have anywhere near that. I don't have anywhere near that much. I just wanted to know if I could get a three-bedroom house for under $400,000."
Then why
Oh,
didn't you say so?
when they're a little bit vague, huh? It's tough because like when I'm talking to people and I'm trying to get an idea of what they want, I try to stay like kind of vague. Like I don't want to be specifically 3 bedroom, 2 bath, because if you go into something and let's say it's 3 bedroom, it has 1 bath, but there's a place to put another bathroom, there's so low inventory on the market that you kind of need to, be a little expand a little bit, but that's a little vague.
Yeah, and people will do that too in another way. They'll say, I'm looking for a house with a big yard. Well, I don't
Hmm.
know what a big yard is. In Johnston, I have a big yard.
Hmm.
But my yard in your area, it's a small yard,
Exactly.
you know? So I don't know what a big yard is. Like big yard relative to what? Are we
Yeah.
talking square feet or acres? Like what do some people I want a big piece of property means 10 acres. Anything less than 10 acres, I don't even want to look at it.
Hmm.
And if you
Yeah,
live in
and I did
Providence
that.
or if you live in the Bronx and you're like, if I could have any grass at all,
That's a big
that's a
yard.
yard. I'm
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
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 So when I was looking for my house, I specifically, even this was before I was even a realtor, like way before I was a realtor. I made sure I went to like the bird's eye view and I looked all around because I didn't want to have any neighbors near me and I wanted to see how far back the woods went. And I was like, I need to have X number of acres. And I'll do that if I have clients that are like, I want a minimum of 2 acres. I look at only things that are like that. But for the most part, it's like I try to stay, you know, a little bit more wider than what they want. But yeah, that was a little vague. All right, how about this one? A picture perfect example of a client from hell.
Nice. We like those.
Yeah. I do real estate photography. I'm often flabbergasted by how stubborn some people can be when they're absolutely categorically wrong with written evidence, but will not back down and say, sorry, you're right. For the last month, I've been trying to convince a client she has not paid me. She is convinced that she has because she can see a note in her banking that she initiated an EFT. I can't talk, okay? She sees a note in her banking account that she initiated an EFT, an electronic funds transfer payment to me. She is ignoring studiously my questions about whether she received any confirmation emails, which are always triggered when an EFT is accepted or deposited. She and I both know she did not receive such an email. She keeps sending me screenshots of her banking with the debit credit columns cut off, so I can't see that there's no debit to her account, so I can see that there's no debit to her account, but I know there is not one. She has not, however, done a search of her own accounts to confirm that the payment was actually withdrawn. And if she were to do this, she would confirm the payment was initiated but not completed. I've suggested she use a malformed email. I don't even know what that is, but until today, she would not acknowledge that. However, she tells me she sent the payment to an unmonitored email owned by my payment company. I contacted their support via chat and they replied that there was no way her payment would have reached anyone. They checked my account and confirmed that no payment from her existed. I took a screenshot of that message and sent it to my client. I don't know what to do with people who would rather carry on for a month than just do a facepalm, say sorry, that was dumb, and move on my part and pay off. I suspect she's going to continue to refuse to pay me. I provided photography to this client previously about 10 years ago and encountered the same issues. She's very not tech savvy and tends to go off before doing the appropriate checks. It's so bloody frustrating for a sub $200 payment, particularly as the listing I shot for her sold within 10 days. So this is a realtor. He's working for a realtor.
He went back anyway. He went through it the first time. He went back for round 2.
Yeah, no, if I have a bad experience with someone, I'm sorry, but what kind of a flake does that though? Like, so if you're a realtor and you're paying a photographer to take pictures and then you're going through all that effort just to make it seem like you paid. That's
that's not good. That's not good business right there.
Nope. I wonder what doing. All right, now that's just getting the photographer paid. Can you imagine going through a transaction with that realtor?
Right. Especially if they're that bad at technology, they can't do a simple transaction. Imagine you got to get all this paperwork from them like on a deadline.
No,
I'm
I
dealing
want
with
to
a
know.
client right now that does not DocuSign or Dotloop. Everything's a wet signature.
That's so hard now.
And
you have to go down to them, meet up with them. Oh, that's annoying.
So I've had to bother him so many times that he's like, "Can't you just sign it for me?" Like even he's annoyed by it, but instead of opening up a Gmail, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I still have to do it. Can't you sign it?" It's like an extension. No, I can't sign your extension. But yeah,
Is he elderly and doesn't have the means to do things?
Yeah, he just doesn't. Yeah, it's just not his thing. He does text though. He texts me.
That's funny.
So you can text, which means you can email if you can text, right? There's not too much different there.
Some people don't trust. There's a trust issue with electronics. I even have like one tenant, like I literally have to meet him every month because he wants to pay me in cash because he doesn't trust doing anything online. I'm like, I have another tenant that just pays me via PayPal or Venmo. I'm like, that is so much easier. Just send me the payment that way. Oh, I don't have any of those. Oh, man.
My wife just got Venmo. We didn't have Venmo for the longest time.
It's so helpful.
For the longest time.
I have Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, and it helps out. And even when we're doing stuff for the kids, like when I was selling Girl Scout cookies with my daughter, we'd have a table and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have cash." I'm like, "But that's okay. We have Venmo and PayPal and Cash App, and you can pay us this way. You cannot escape.
You will pay.
You will.
That's what happen.
There's no excuses. No excuses anymore. All right. How about this one? Stop trying to take my house. Well, I don't own my home. A relative of mine does, and I rent from them. We had some upgrades done to the house by a contractor, and my number was given as a point of contact. Months after the work is done, I start receiving calls from my relative. Most of them go like this: caller, Hello, I'm looking for relative regarding the property at blank address. Me, relative is not at this number and I'm not able to give out their information. I live at blank address. What is this regarding? The caller says, we're looking to buy properties in the area. Me, I'm stopping you right there. I live in this house. I'm not moving. The house is not being sold, and I don't know anyone else selling property. Please stop calling me. So the caller says, okay, I'll remove you from our system. I've gotten these calls at least twice a week for months now. No matter how many times I'm told they've put me on the do not call list, I keep getting calls. Finally, I've had enough. Caller calls back. Hi, I'm calling about blank address. Me, no. I'm sorry, says the caller. Me, I'm on the National Do Not Call Registry. I have told your company multiple times to stop calling. If you're calling for blank address, I'm going to call the police for harassment. There is no reason to be calling me about this property. Caller says, well, no. No, well, this is the final call I will get from you guys, or I'm getting the police involved. Got it? Caller says, right, I'm adding you to our do not call list. Goodbye. It's been 2 weeks, but I haven't gotten a call since. I can explain these calls, and I'm sure you can too.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when you own a property, but you do not live on the property, you are put into this category so that, because both of us flip houses, I'm sure, one of the strategies is to buy homes from the list of people that don't live in the home, or you can go through tax records and all that kind of stuff. So the first target is somebody that owns a property that doesn't live there, because that property could be a pain in the butt for them. It could be something they inherited. It could be something that, especially if they live out of state, because then they might not want to take care of it and stuff like that. And then when you put them on the do not call list, it's not the same person calling. It's going to be a completely different person calling, because everyone's got the same strategy.
Correct. And people get mad. I don't get mad when I get those calls. I really don't. I think I get mad if it's like the same number twice in a day or something, but I don't get mad. People trying to make a living, and because I'll make those calls. For every person that doesn't want to be bothered, there's somebody else who is happy that they got the call. They're looking for a realtor in Rhode Island or whatever it is, and you're helping them out. And it's part of my business. The do not call list is a bunch of nonsense, because it's not the same thing. You're just dealing with regular people.
Yeah, exactly. We're all small people just trying to, or the big people have these small minions that are out. And I shouldn't say minions. Like when you're getting into the real estate industry and you're trying to learn how to be an investor and you're pairing up with another investor, the first thing they're going to have you do is call all these people, and this is what you're going to do to work and learn about it. So it's always going to be a different person, most likely. And but that's the strategy. And
Sometimes
I
I'll play with
absolutely
them
get it.
though. I mean, sometimes they'll call and they'll ask me. I'll say, yeah, I'm looking to sell, and if they can close in 10 days for 2.1 million on a house, that's
Mhm.
like and once you show them that you know what you're doing, like I'm an investor too, buddy. I'm not busting. I'm busting your balls because it's fun, but I don't know. I don't get getting mad at people for doing that kind of stuff. Just like the people that knock on your door. Like I don't get mad at those guys. If you're knocking door to door to sell some solar panels, like you're working.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would never want to do that. But you know what? We understand this from our perspective, right? My dad tells me all the time, I got people calling me all the time and I want to buy my house. Or how about this? I had been working on buying these houses in Woonsocket for a while from my clients. I wanted somehow to be in there. Not that I have the money, but I wanted like partner up, whatever, do something. So with all the new lead laws and stuff coming up, I made sure they were aware of it and they're like, okay, we're ready to sell now. But instead of listing, I ended up finding someone off market and we're working something out and we worked out a deal and we're getting ready to go under contract. And all of a sudden she's like, yeah, but I got this other guy that's going to give me like, $10,000 more. And I'm like, well, where'd this person come from? Because again, they're targeted on a list because they own property that they don't live at, so they're gonna get inundated with calls. And so this other guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna buy this. And it was just, they get calls all the time. And part of being a realtor or an investor is building the relationship with the clients that you have to hold on to the ability to buy those properties, because I was able to work with them and make it through. And
The worst is you ever call someone and they're listed and you didn't know they were listed.
actually kind of, I was working with someone and I thought I was getting the listing, and I had gone through and given him, here is what the value of your house is now, but if you do X, Y, and Z, your value is going to be over here. So I'd keep checking in with him and say, hey, how's it going? Are you getting ready to list and stuff? And then the last time I checked in with him, he's like, oh, we just went live last night and listed it. Like,
Oh,
oh,
that's fascinating.
nice.
So
Yeah.
I usually check, like I'll check to see if the house, before I call, I'll check to make sure the house isn't on the market, right? Well, a couple times on our MLS, you're searching single family or multifamily. So a couple times I thought I was looking for a single family, it wasn't on the market, and I called and it was a multifamily. And it was the realtor. I've had one woman was extremely rude, extremely called me and just berated me. And I'm like, lady, I made 200 calls today. Like, I didn't single out your listing. I promise it was an honest mistake, but people get wicked mad. I
Mm,
like that cup. What's that say? Does that say realtor nutrition facts?
yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness gracious.
do you have the same cup? You
Oh
have a
my good.
blur.
Yeah, one great home.
Everything I touch turns to sold. I have the best clients
Oh my
that get
God.
me the
I
best
have the same
gifts.
cup. We have the same cup.
That's so funny. Yeah, and the
That is so
nutritional
funny.
information, one great home
Yeah, no
percentage
regret.
value,
A lot of
communication,
caffeine.
huh?
We get the
Oh
same
no,
one.
does yours have
Skinny
caffeine?
blood packet. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, well, caffeine 150%. That's so funny. I mean, I have all right, so I have 4 cups that I drink out of a day. So I have, this one is my one big teacup that I usually will drink my cinnamon tea. Harney and Sons is my absolute favorite. I had it one time at an Airbnb, and I buy it now from Amazon because it is so delicious. So I have, this one carries that tea. I have a smaller tumbler that I'll do like other teas or like a wake up shot or whatever in it, like not alcohol, just fresh ginger and all that stuff. And then I have my big tall thing I was drinking out of earlier that I will usually try to down because I know I can drink the water in it, and then I'll put my energy mix in it later. And then I have my water bottle I carry with me all day. So I literally have 4 cups that I drink from during the day.
During the course of a day.
Yes.
Yeah, I sold my sister's house and this came Amazon and I never get anything from Amazon because I don't know how to order online.
Are you
So
serious?
yeah, I don't buy anything online. So I had a package and it was made out to me. So I was like wicked excited. And yeah,
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I have these clients that sent me this one, sent me this beautiful prayer for a realtor last year. So
Oh, that's
Christmas
nice.
this year, they got me this one. Christmas last year, they got me another one. I have another really cool pink little tumbler that I love, and it's realtor girl or something on it. And it's so cute. It was like, and then they got me a cap. Like some of my clients are just so sweet.
Oh, that's
Not
wicked
that
nice.
not that
I
I,
don't,
ask
I
for
don't,
gifts or expect them, but it's so sweet.
yeah, that's wicked nice.
All right, so let's see what this one is titled, What in the Actual F? All
Mhm.
right. We bought our house a few years back during a small housing crash. We bought it from a single guy in a similar age range as us. He just lost his well-paying job and needed to downsize his life to adjust for the lower income. Maybe we should have asked why he lost his job, but honestly, we were excited to finally move into a home from the flats. Home from flats. We were a small family, me, my wife, our 2 children, and a cat. That's not a small family. We have my house. We don't fit in our house anymore, and we are a family that size. Perhaps things would have been different if we had a dog. Okay. At first, things seemed pretty normal. Oh, well, there were weird noises occasionally and unexpected occurrences. The energy bills were strangely high, and the water usage was more than we expected. But we chalked it up to a new house and our general unfamiliar, oh, I can't say this word, unfamiliarity.
So
Okay.
we've got specificity, unfamiliarity, and there was another one in the last one. You're striking out with these stories.
I guess I can't read big words. For a few years, that was our new normal. Then one day we noticed the guy we bought the house from hanging around in the neighborhood. We had thought he'd left. We tried to strike up a conversation, but he fled. Things started feeling weird again, and we started paying more attention to the strange noises and high water and energy usage. We asked the energy company to send out an inspector to find out where the power was going. He traced our wires and found a juncture leading off to who knows where. We had a survey done on our property to find out where the wire was going and found a hidden underground bunker. Oh my
What?
God. What? The guy we'd sold the house to was still living there, stealing our power and water, and he had camera feeds to most of the rooms in our house.
No way.
Oh my God. According to him, it was so he could time his arrivals and departures so that we wouldn't see him. But I'm pretty sure he was creeping on us, and the judge agreed with me. He was arrested for this, but we also sold the house and moved out. We didn't feel safe anymore. We were very careful to explain the bunker to the new owner. We explained how we had changed the locks, and we also made sure he knew the day the old owner was expecting to get out of prison. The newest owner thought the bunker was pretty cool and told us he was going to turn it into his gamer bunker. We wished him luck on it. We were refusing to sell to families with children or single women for fear of what the old owner might do when he gets out of prison. Ah!
Yeah, they broke a law. You can't do that.
Oh my God.
Did you ever see there was a show on Netflix called The Watcher?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was about there was a house and like they felt like everybody was watching them. And in each episode you kind of got a feeling. Each episode led you to believe it would be a different person, a different person, a different person. And that must be weird to be creeped out in your own house. Like that's crazy. And there are people like that. There are people with neighbors that are like that. I don't know about an underground bunker though.
That is creepy. So the podcast I listen to, it's a morbid podcast. The girls are awesome and I love listening to them, but they told a story at one point about a guy living in the walls. There was a couple of them. There was one, I think it was a younger kid, might have been a teenage kid or something like that. Huh?
The wall is this wide.
Yeah. But so there was like a crawl space or something, and he could move between the walls, I think, and had different points where he would look out like and watch. I don't know. People are
Oh my God.
I wish I hear the stories and I'm like so fascinated by them, but I can never remember and retell a story because I'll just mix up everything and get it all wrong.
That's like that Scooby-Doo stuff where you just see like the eyes following, like you just see the little eyes coming in through the painting.
That is so creepy. That is so creepy.
It takes some ingenuity to have an underground bunker, though. I wonder how much
That
time
is-
it takes for that.
I know. Like, what was he doing before?
What's the crime? Trespassing? It's got to be trespassing.
And recording? Like, you can't record somebody without them knowing about it, too. That's
In their house?
creepy.
Imagine that.
Oh my God, that is so creepy.
Yeah.
You know, I have an exhaust fan in my bathroom, and everyone like I had an electrician put it in, and like I'll look up and I'm like, there's a green light that I can see inside of the fan, and I've never taken it down to check. I'm like, that's just stupid. I think that's just an indicator light that it's on. But like it has crossed my mind, like you hear of stupid, creepy.
Like you think you have like somebody with a camera in your bathroom?
I mean, I hope that's not the
vent?
case. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. I never took it down to figure it out.
Like,
My
screw it.
thoughts crossed my mind, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have time. I'll just, because I'm not a paranoid person either. Like it's like, why is that light there? And then I'm like, could it be a camera? Yeah, but it's more likely just an indicator light that the power's running to it.
More likely it's not. Well, like it's not a camera.
Yeah, we'll find out 5 years later when I go to replace it. Oh shit, there was a camera there.
When the felony takes place.
Let's see what else I have over here. See if this is a good one. This is a long one. Let's see where this leads. So I'm reading these blind, by the way. So that's what I'm hoping to get to, is have people write into us and give us some good stories that I can read blind. But hopefully the content is good. So we'll see. This one says it contains content of a legal nature. It's not intended for legal advice. So I guess I should probably give that disclosure. All right, so it says, I keep getting calls about selling my home. My home is not on the market and hasn't been since I bought it. So these are completely unsolicited calls. At one point, the calls were coming weekly, every Saturday or Sunday. It was always the same company calling and always the same woman calling as well. Or the woman calling was always gave the same company name and the same name for themselves. Eventually, I got tired of telling them off every weekend. I tried blocking the number, but they kept calling with different numbers. Finally, I tried a different tactic. It was Saturday and my phone rang with an unknown number on the caller ID. I answer and say, hello. The woman says, "Good morning. May I speak with my name, please?" Me. That entirely depends on who you are. So the woman says, "My name is blank, calling from blank company. We have been trying to reach him about a property at my blank address." Me. "Oh, yes. You're the one who has been calling me weekly, even after I told you I wasn't interested in selling my home." The woman says, "Yes, I was calling to see if you would consider selling the property." Me. "You know what? Sure. My price is firm at $1.3 million. What you just said earlier, right?
That's my move. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
The house is worth about 300,000 on a good day. The woman says, "Well, for a price that high, I will need to speak to my boss." So I say, "You do that, and don't call this number again unless you are ready to offer that amount or higher." With that, we hung up, and I thought that would get them to leave me alone. The next weekend came and went, and I didn't get a call from the company, so I believed they had gotten the message. I was wrong. The weekend after that, 2 weeks after the last call, the company called me again. On Saturday morning, my phone rang with an unknown number. I said, "Hello." The woman says, "Good morning. May I speak with my name?" I say, "Only if I know who you are." The woman says, "Of course, my name is blank and I'm calling on behalf of blank." "Wonderful. You must be ready to pay me my price." The woman says, I was calling about the property at blank address to see if you were ready to sell." Oh my God. "Yes, I know. I spoke to you 2 weeks ago, gave you a price, and told you only to call if you were ready to pay me that price. I can only assume, since you are calling me back, that your company is ready to meet the price. I was clear that it was a firm price, so I know that you don't intend to negotiate." The woman says, "I don't have any notes about an offer or price." At that point, I remembered something important. I had an app on my phone that recorded all my calls. I had put on my phone when I had to get a drawn out fight with an insurance company, which is a story for another day, but that I had never deleted. So I say, "Don't worry about that. I have evidence of what I said." The woman says, "We never sent anything to you with an offer." I said, "I am aware of that. You see, I record all my phone calls and I saved the recording of the call 2 weeks ago, including both my price and my instructions to not call until you wanted to match the offer." I said, and what was the number, sir?" I said, $1.3 million. "We would not pay that much for your property, sir." So I said, "That's a shame. This call would be evidence of harassment then." So the woman says, "I'm not sure what you mean, sir." I said, "Well, if you aren't calling to accept my offer, then you must be calling to try and harass me into lowering my price. Pretty sure that's a felony." The woman says, "We would do no such thing." And let me just pause there for a second. "We would do no such thing." I said, "And yet I have these recordings that would imply otherwise." So the woman says, "You didn't tell me I was being recorded, so you can't use that." So I said, "Actually, I can. See, if you double check my address, you'll see that I live in the Commonwealth of Virginia, which only requires single party consent, and I consented. That means that not only is it not a crime to record you, but my recordings can still be used in both criminal and civil trials. So you will be paying the 1.3 million. Should I mention that I will only accept secured funds like cash or bank transfer?" The woman says, "We will not be paying anything like that. That is far too much money for your property." Me. "I'll make you a deal then. You never call me again, and I don't take your company to court for breach of contract for calling and then backing out of the amount previously discussed."
No way.
The woman says, "You can't do that." So I said, "Try me. I dare you." With that, she hung up on me. So far, it's been 6 months without getting another call from them. For the record, aside from Virginia being a single party consent state for recording phone calls, I have no idea if anything that I said about the contracts or harassment was true. Please don't take it as legal advice, but it seems to have scared them off for now. Wow.
Strong. That's a
So
strong response.
what I wonder, are you aware, have you ever heard of the AI calls?
Yeah.
So I went to a training on how to use AI for calls, and when I was at that training, they did a live call. So the guy used his bot and called from another phone, and it actually sounds. You can pick whatever voice you want. The AI, like the intelligence on the other side, is meant to react to whatever you say. So a lot of the calls you get, and you'll have the like silence and then somebody beeps in. It's a lot of times a real person, but a lot of the political ones or this is somebody calling for the firefighters, blah, blah, blah. That can sound like a real person, but it is literally just a bot calling out. So
Is that
I
crazy?
wonder if it could be that that's the case on this one.
I'll tell you what, I have a lot of fun with the political ones. I really do. Somebody donated $1 in my name to a political party. So I'm on their list as like a donor now. So I get
Ugh.
phone calls forever. And you're right, there's a mix. Every now and then it's a person. A lot of times it's a robot, and it's like 3 texts a day. But if I'm in the mood, like if I'm in a good mood, I'll give a telemarketer a hard time. Like we'll have some fun.
Yeah, I don't know. My son wants to grab every call that comes in that says potential spam because he wants to screw around with them. I've done it a couple times, especially when you get the text messages. I've gotten the text message, actually somebody pretending to be our broker at one point, and
Yeah.
oh, I went off on, like, I was like, oh, don't you remember, you came back to my house and or I saw you stripping or whatever. Like it's fun to do
Oh,
those kind
really?
of things.
So we got the
Oh
ones
yeah.
that said he's in a jam and he needs money. I got those before.
Yeah, well, I had the one who were saying they needed to get gift cards. Hey, it's like I said, they
Yeah.
said they were our broker, and I'm like, oh, how's it going? I saw you last night at the party. Wow, I can't believe you stuck the firecrackers up your butt and drank and I'm going like, and he's like, well, I need you to do me a favor. I really need you to go and pick up some gift cards for me. And I'm like, and I just kept going on, and it was, and then they eventually stopped because they realized that
Going
I had
nowhere.
it figured out. Yeah,
I'll
those are
tell you
fun.
what, those stupid scams must work because they do them. They do them consistently.
Yeah,
I
the
know
it's
people people I know, they fell for the one where they call and say that your granddaughter's in jail and needs bail.
yeah.
Yeah. They my grandmother got one of those calls, and it was about my brother, and she was like, she didn't fall for it. She was like, he went he would have got bailed out before he got to my number, pal. You have no luck. But and another person I know, like $90,000 or something like that.
Actually, one of my friend's moms, um, they got her, and it was like they got her bad, but they made it, I forgot how she said it ended up working, and it was like that they were in trouble, but they were threatening the family or something like that, saying like if you went to the police or something like that, like the family was gonna get hurt. And oh, the poor thing, she got taken for a lot of money.
Horrible. And you can never
Yeah.
find those people. Never find them.
No, no, people are crazy. I want to see if there's anything else on here because we're running out of time on here.
They really
So I
are.
want to find a shorter story.
Well, nothing's gonna beat the bunker. I mean,
That
we're talking
is
about
freaky.
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is creepy. Let's see. How's this one? This one doesn't look too.
So while you're doing for that, you got one?
I think so, but if you have something, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna tell you that my son emailed me yesterday at 9:33 in the morning, and all it said is I am 10 because he was born at 9:33.
So
So
cute.
yeah, so all the email said was I am 10, and he said he had a hard time sneaking onto the email because that's not what they were doing in class. But
Oh, and they have all sorts of Go Guardian and stuff now that they're not supposed to be doing things.
yeah,
That's
but
cute.
I am 10. It's like whatever, man.
That's wicked
I
cute.
like I'm not gonna if he gets in trouble for that, like I'm not even regarding that. I don't care. Whatever.
All right, here's one. How to
Go.
be a real mover and shaker in the property market. Our store is located near San Andres Fault, so earthquakes are relatively common. I am giving a tour of a condo to some potential buyers when the experience of a small quake lasting a few seconds. When we experience a small quake lasting a few seconds. So the potential buyer says, "What was that?" So I said, "That was an earthquake, sir. They happen from time to time, but this is also a great opportunity for me to explain how well built the building is to withstand what the earthquake is up to, what the withstand earthquakes up to." And the buyer cuts in and says, "Oh, no, 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 this will not do. I don't want earthquakes." So I said, "I understand, sir. However, while there's nothing we can do about the earthquakes, there's plenty we can do to protect." Buyer cuts in again. "I need you to make them not happen." So I said, "Make the earthquakes not happen?" This buyer says, "For whatever property I buy, yes, I don't want there to be earthquakes."
Well,
So I said, "Well, like I said, sir, there's nothing I can do." He says snooty, is being snooty. Are you saying you don't have anything for a potential customer willing to make a purchase today? So I said, nothing that I can't guarantee will skip the earthquakes when they will happen, sir. Buyer says, I'm gonna have to go to another broker.
Yeah, the other broker. If it's it would be Jesus himself if we're gonna stop earthquakes from happening.
So I said, I guarantee you won't have any either, sir, especially in I guarantee they won't have any either, sir, especially in California. So the buyer says, why not? He said, because earthquakes shake proof is not a feature that any property in California is capable of. Buyer says, you just lost the sale. The
See you
potential
later.
buyer just walks out of the condo. I told my manager, who laughed and told me there was nothing I could have done to face such stupidity.
Nothing you can do. We go to a showing. I want this one not to get rained on. Do you have any houses that
Yeah.
don't get wet in the rain? Oh, speaking of which, you know it's raining right now?
Yeah.
We've been
I
doing this. Do you have a window where you are?
I am watching out my windows, yeah. And
Oh.
I went to go step outside earlier because it's warmer outside than it is in my basement, which is where I'm recording.
Yes, mine too. Yep, it was a breath of warm air.
And I
We
finally
only have a
decided to
minute
turn the
left.
heat up to 68. Yeah. So I should probably tell everybody where they can find us and
Yeah, this
stuff,
is a
right?
super fun show. Super
Yeah.
fun.
So this is what I want to do. I want to read other people's stories that they send to us. So I like finding stuff online, but I'd rather have people send stuff to us or have people on. So please send us your stories to the Legit Real Estate Podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube and on anywhere that you can get your podcast. Please, like, subscribe, do all those things so that you can see us when we come out and you can keep up to date on what we got going on. Because I am not good at putting things out in a routine. So you want the notifications
They're
to pop
coming
up.
out when they're coming out.
Yes.
They are.
Yes. So thank you,
Right on.
everyone.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
wonderful day.
Have a nice
Bye.
day.